Welcome to Bills Nation Daily, your ultimate daily dose of everything Buffalo Bills. Hit that subscribe button and join the most passionate Bills fans as we break down all the latest news, highlights, and game analysis. Go Bills! The NFL world just got shaken to its core, folks. Rumors are swirling like a storm in Buffalo. John Harbaugh, yes, that John Harbaugh, might be on his way to become the new head coach of the Buffalo Bills. Can you believe that? The man who built a dynasty of grit and defense in Baltimore, the guy who turned the Ravens into one of the league's most respected franchises, could now be packing his bags for snowy New York. Sources close to the situation are whispering that tensions between Harbaugh and the Ravens' front office have been boiling for months. Disagreements over draft strategy, locker room control, and the direction of the team reportedly led to a quiet but intense fallout. And now, after 16 seasons, it looks like Baltimore's longtime commander might be heading for a new battlefield. The move would mark one of the boldest coaching shifts in recent NFL memory. And it's got fans talking everywhere, from talk radio to Twitter Spaces. Is Buffalo ready for the Harbaugh way? Or is this just smoke from a rumor mill spinning out of control? Whatever the case, something big is brewing in the AFC East. Reports began surfacing late last night that the Ravens organization made the shocking decision to part ways with their longtime leader. For years, John Harbaugh was untouchable in Baltimore, the face of stability and toughness. He brought them a Super Bowl, developed one of the most feared defenses in the league, and mentored generations of players who embodied the Raven spirit. But sources say the recent playoff disappointments, coupled with disagreements over offensive direction, especially around how to maximize Lamar Jackson's prime years, have created friction that could no longer be ignored. The front office reportedly wanted a fresh voice, someone more offensively oriented. Harbaugh, a defensive mind through and through, stood firm on his philosophy: win with defense, dominate the trenches, and let discipline carry the day. That's the kind of mindset Buffalo has been craving, especially after yet another frustrating postseason run. If these rumors turn out true, Bills Mafia might be getting exactly the kind of old-school, smash-mouth leadership they've been missing since the early 90s. What's fascinating is how seamlessly Harbaugh's style might fit with Buffalo's identity. The Bills have long prided themselves on heart, physicality, and that underdog energy that mirrors the blue-collar DNA of their city. Harbaugh, who cut his teeth coaching defensive backs for the Philadelphia Eagles and later leading the Ravens to consistent playoff appearances, embodies that same mentality. He's not about flashy plays or viral sound bites. He's about culture, consistency, and execution. Buffalo, despite having Josh Allen's cannon arm and Stephon Diggs' star power, struggled last season with discipline and balance. A Harbaugh-led team could bring structure and accountability back to the locker room. Insiders say Bills GM Brandon Beane has been quietly evaluating coaching options behind the scenes since their early playoff exit, and Harbaugh's name kept surfacing as the ideal hard reset. Imagine that: Allen running a disciplined offense, while Harbaugh built a defensive monster on the other side. It's not hard to picture the Bills becoming a complete team overnight, something fans have been praying for since the heartbreak of last year's collapse. Still, the move would be shocking on so many levels. John Harbaugh has been synonymous with Baltimore football for over a decade and a half. He's the second longest tenured coach in the league, behind only Bill Belichick before his departure. His leadership style is deeply rooted in loyalty and consistency. So for him to walk away, or for the Ravens to let him go, it suggests something much deeper brewing behind closed doors. Perhaps there were power struggles involving the front office, or perhaps Harbaugh simply felt it was time for a new challenge. Coaches of his caliber rarely sit unemployed for long, and Buffalo's ownership seems eager to capitalize on the opportunity. Sources close to the Bills organization suggest talks have been ongoing for several weeks, possibly even before Baltimore's playoff exit. It's the kind of move that could change the balance of power in the AFC. And for Ravens fans, it's the end of an era, a painful one at that, considering how much Harbaugh meant to their culture and identity. In the bigger picture, this could signal a massive philosophical shift for both franchises. Baltimore may choose to pursue an offensive-minded coach to maximize Lamar Jackson's dual-threat talents, while Buffalo might pivot toward a defense-first identity to better complement Josh Allen's explosive but sometimes inconsistent play. It's like the football gods are swapping the very essences of these two franchises. For years, the Bills have lived and died by offensive firepower, while the Ravens thrived on defensive might and discipline. Now, with Harbaugh's rumored move north, that balance could flip entirely. Fans in Buffalo are already buzzing online, imagining a team that plays with the kind of toughness and swagger the Ravens became famous for. Meanwhile, in Baltimore, there's heartbreak, but also curiosity. Could this be the start of a new era for the Ravens? Could they bring in someone like Eric Bieniemy or Ben Johnson to reinvent their playbook? It's pure speculation right now, but one thing's for sure. The NFL landscape could look very different by the time training camps open next summer. The timing of this development is what really adds fuel to the fire. With several teams already making coaching moves, the Bills acting quickly to secure a proven name like Harbaugh would send a statement to the rest of the league. They're done waiting, done experimenting, and ready to win now. Insiders claim Harbaugh's deal could be one of the most lucrative coaching contracts in the NFL, reflecting Buffalo's determination to make a deep postseason run. The question is, will Harbaugh adapt his traditional style to the Bills' explosive offense? Or will he reshape the team to fit his methodical, defensive-first mindset? That's the tension everyone's watching. Players, fans, and analysts alike are holding their breath, waiting for an official announcement. Until then, it's a frenzy of speculation, late-night talk show debates, and endless fan theories. One thing's certain. If this rumor turns into reality, it could be the beginning of something historic in Buffalo. Harbaugh's presence alone could change the culture, the expectations, and maybe even the destiny of the Bills. If this move actually materializes, we might be witnessing one of the most strategic coaching acquisitions in recent NFL memory. Buffalo has flirted with greatness for years. 4 straight playoff appearances, multiple deep runs, but always falling just short of the ultimate prize. A coach like Harbaugh, with his championship pedigree and unrelenting approach to fundamentals, might be the missing ingredient. He's the type of leader who commands respect the moment he walks into a room. Players know his reputation: tough but fair, demanding but loyal. He doesn't just build schemes, he builds cultures. And that's exactly what Buffalo's locker room has needed since the heartbreak of the 13-second game and the emotional roller coaster that followed last season. Some insiders suggest that Harbaugh's move could also lure key defensive free agents who want to play under his leadership. Imagine a Bills defense with Harbaugh's fingerprints all over it. Aggressive, disciplined, and ruthless in the trenches. That's the kind of transformation that could take this team from almost there to genuine Super Bowl favorite territory. Interestingly, the move might also benefit Harbaugh personally. After more than a decade in Baltimore, he's achieved nearly everything possible with that organization. Maybe the challenge of building a championship contender in a new city is exactly what he needs at this stage of his career. Buffalo presents a unique opportunity, a roster loaded with talent, a passionate fan base, and an ownership group willing to invest heavily in success. It's a coach's dream scenario. Yet, there's always risk in starting over. Harbaugh would be leaving behind familiarity, loyalty, and legacy in Baltimore, a city that embraced him completely. But greatness often requires discomfort. If he can turn the Bills into perennial contenders, his legacy could transcend Baltimore and etch his name alongside the great coaching legends who mastered multiple franchises. It's rare in the NFL, but it's not impossible. And with Harbaugh's work ethic and vision, the possibility feels very real. This could redefine not just his career, but the identity of 2 entire organizations. The ripple effects across the league would be enormous. Think about the coaching carousel this move could ignite. If Harbaugh officially takes the Buffalo job, the Ravens would instantly become the hottest vacancy in the NFL. Every top coordinator and rising assistant would want a shot at coaching Lamar Jackson, one of the most dynamic players in football. Baltimore's front office would be under pressure to nail their next hire, and fast. Meanwhile, teams that missed out on their preferred coaching targets might pivot to chase whoever the Ravens let go in the transition. It's a domino effect that could reshape half the league. Beyond that, imagine the media narrative when the Ravens and Bills eventually face each other. Harbaugh versus his former team in a battle of ideologies and emotions. It's pure theater, the kind of storyline that makes the NFL so addictive. Whether it happens next season or down the road, you could bet every camera in the stadium will be locked on the handshake at midfield. What's also fascinating is how this could impact Buffalo's star players. Josh Allen, known for his competitive fire and improvisational style, might need to adjust under Harbaugh's structured system. That could be a good thing. A little more discipline, a little more control, could make him even deadlier. Stephon Diggs, on the other hand, has had a share of sideline frustrations, but Harbaugh's no-nonsense leadership might be exactly what he needs to refocus. Defensively, players like Von Miller and Matt Milano would thrive under a coach who lives and breathes defensive intensity. There's already buzz that Harbaugh could bring some of his trusted assistants from Baltimore along with him, including defensive minds who understand his system inside out. If that happens, Buffalo's defense could instantly become a top 3 unit in the league. And let's not forget, Harbaugh's teams don't just play football, they play psychological warfare. They wear you down, they frustrate you, they own the fourth quarter. Imagine that mentality in Buffalo. It's almost scary to think about. But as with every rumor in the NFL, we have to remind ourselves, nothing's official until the ink dries. Still, there's something different about this story. The whispers aren't just coming from anonymous Twitter accounts or speculative blogs. Legitimate insiders, people close to both organizations, have hinted that this might already be in the late stages of negotiation. That's why fans are glued to their phones, refreshing every insider's feed, waiting for that breaking news banner to flash across their screens. If it happens, it would be one of the defining headlines of the offseason, a move that instantly shakes the hierarchy of the AFC. The Ravens in rebuilding mode, the Bills in full championship pursuit, and John Harbaugh, right in the middle, reshaping narratives and proving, once again, why he's one of the most respected minds in football. The league might not be ready for what comes next. Before we dive back in, make sure to hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Your support helps us keep delivering the latest Buffalo Bills updates straight to your screen. And hey, don't hold back. Let us know your thoughts on today's news down in the comments. Whatever unfolds, this moment will be remembered as a turning point. Either it marks the end of an era and a stunning rebirth for John Harbaugh, or it becomes one of those legendary, what could have been stories that fuel fan debates for years. But you can't deny the energy, the excitement, the sheer unpredictability of it all. The NFL thrives on drama. And this right here, is primetime theater. From Baltimore to Buffalo, fans are bracing for change, hoping their side ends up on the right end of history. Because if this rumor becomes reality, the balance of power in the AFC just might tilt in a brand new direction. And whether you love Harbaugh or not, you have to respect what he brings: structure, discipline, and an unshakable will to win. So buckle up, football fans. The storm clouds over Buffalo might just be the sign of something powerful brewing. The excitement surrounding Samuel Jr.'s signing extends beyond the X's and O's, touching on the cultural and emotional aspects of the team and fan base. Reports suggest that his arrival has energized locker room dynamics, with veteran players expressing admiration for his preparation and professionalism, and younger athletes eager to emulate his work ethic. Analysts speculate that this cultural infusion could enhance team cohesion, foster mentorship opportunities, and amplify the overall competitive mindset within the squad. Fans are actively engaging in forums and social media threads, dissecting every aspect of Samuel Jr.'s past performances and projecting how his temperament, instincts, and athleticism could reshape Buffalo's identity on the field. There is widespread conjecture that his influence could extend to leadership hierarchies, in-game communication, and even the psychological resilience of the defensive unit during high-pressure playoff scenarios. Industry insiders note that such a combination of talent and personality often translates into both immediate impact and long-term structural benefits for teams aiming for sustained success. As debates continue, from mock defensive rotations to hypothetical highlight reels, the underlying narrative remains consistent. Asani Samuel Jr.'s presence in Buffalo signals a transformative moment, blending elite skill, strategic fit, and leadership potential. The result is a heightened sense of anticipation, speculation, and engagement across multiple channels, positioning both the player and the team at the center of NFL conversations. Finally, the ongoing buzz around Samuel Jr. has reignited discussions about Buffalo's aspirations and potential trajectory in the coming seasons. Analysts suggest that this signing is more than a tactical upgrade. It represents a statement of intent, signaling that the Bills are committed to establishing a dominant, resilient defense capable of contending at the highest levels. Rumors abound regarding how Samuel Jr.'s integration might influence weekly game planning, playoff strategies, and even off-season training programs for the entire defensive unit. Fans are deeply engaged in projecting the broader implications, from potential turnover differentials to changes in team morale and psychological advantage over divisional rivals. Social media platforms continue to amplify every insight, clip, and speculative analysis, turning Samuel Jr.'s arrival into a central storyline that dominates conversations among enthusiasts, analysts, and even casual observers. That's a wrap for now. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay on top of all things Buffalo Bills, make sure to subscribe and hit that like button. We'd love to hear what you think in the comments. See you in the next update.